It is 6:05-ish. I will now call to order the April 10th, 2017 meeting of the East Hampton Conservation Commission. The meeting is being recorded. Being that there's no public here, I'm assuming there are no public concerns. There are no public hearings or meetings, no requests for certificates of compliance. We do, however, have an emergency certification for 67 Loudville Road, Mr. Edward Gall's property.
Well, we also had an RDA for that
We
also, right?
did, but that's not on the agenda because Mr. Gall was issued an emergency
So we
certification.
dropped that.
So we dropped the RDA, there was no advertisement placed. The Board of Health agent Jackie Duda conducted a site visit to inspect the property on March 28th and ordered Mr. Gall at Mike Orzel, O-R-Z-E-L, who's a logger, at his advice, to immediately remove those 2 pine trees. So, Jess Allen went out there March 29th, and this emergency cert was issued on March 30th for the purpose of removing danger trees that pose a threat to the occupied resident per the health agent order.
So, they were dangerous? They were just danger?
Danger trees, it's
Are
a
you serious?
term. It's a term. A danger tree is a tree. It's a utility term. Sorry.
It's okay.
So,
I thought it was a typo.
no.
I was like, danger tree.
Danger tree. Well, sorry.
It's okay.
So the work allowed is limited to the removal of the 2 pine trees adjacent to the maintained yard, but within a 100-foot buffer zone of a jurisdictional pond, intermittent stream, and BVW. The special conditions are trees to be felled away from the wetland resource areas, and no woody material or other debris is allowed to be deposited in the wetland resource area. This expires April 29th, 2017. Would anyone care to sign and date this? Motion to ratify the emergency cert?
Make a motion to ratify the emergency certification.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, sign away, and you can date it today's date, please, and thank you.
Who seconded that?
Jay.
I did.
I'm gonna experiment with our
It's fine, I think it's fine.
format here.
Go for it. You interested in maybe let's pass it down to others so.
So sorry.
What's that?
You have your own pen?
Yes, I do.
Do we all have to date it?
Whatever, seems to be the trend. I think because I signed it,
I don't have a blue pen I can borrow, so just purple.
there's a blue one. Gently.
Can I just look at this?
Okay.
So I thought I heard you say riverfront, but there's no riverfront area.
No, there's no
There's no
riverfront,
riverfront.
intermittent stream.
Okay. Interior.
Intermittent.
Oh, jeez. And the conditions were what?
Fell away from the wetlands and no putting any woody material in the wetlands. And then there was an email from Jackie Duda, the health agent, to Jess Allen, about this, and when she issued her, bless you, when she issued the inspection report, notice of code violation and order letter, she made it clear to him verbally that the order is not blanket permission for him to cut trees, and that he must follow any conditions set by the Concom. So, I'll ask Jess if anyone can do a follow-up. You can drive
Take a
by.
ride up there, yeah.
If the truck is out front, he'll stop.
Look for the antlers.
So the tree cutting happened, or it's a waiting on this?
This was sent to him, so
Okay.
I do not know yet if the tree cutting has occurred.
Okay.
So Jay will follow up for the site visit.
And, how did, well, like, I guess I mean, we've been doing this for years, and I still don't really understand the process of why we can issue, the chair can issue this, but then we have to ratify it later, even though it may have already happened. Or
Let's
is
just
it
make
like-
sure everyone's on the same
It's
page.
just for fun,
Yeah,
okay,
officially official.
okay.
Because it's available in all these different
This-
languages.
yeah,
If you can read that, you know what it says.
Hmm.
Okay, so, done, done.
Thank you.
Okay, ready?
Ready as I'll ever be. Oh, I did not.
Except for that.
All right.
So, there are no updates on enforcement actions A, B, or C, Bernard Gall, various properties. D, however, Autumn Properties rear 161 to 165 Northampton Street. We received an email from Mark Reed. They would like to be on the commission's May 22nd, okay, agenda. Sorry, that's further in advance than I anticipated it being. To review a plan showing the GZA delineated resource areas in the paths that were cut last July. Please confirm this date will work. If that is actually a meeting date, I don't see why that wouldn't work.
Looks like a meeting date.
Okay, so I will reply that that is okay.
Seems like seems like they're doing more than I thought they were gonna be doing, based on my recollection of that enforcement order, but whatever.
Well, we wanted them to have a wetland sign to delineate the wetland boundaries
Yeah.
and show where they cut the path.
Mm-hmm.
And then keep an eye on it for invasive species as the area regrows.
Yep,
So this is the wetland scientist.
yep, yep.
I don't, they're choosing to come in for the meeting.
Right.
Okay.
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 We didn't ask them to replicate anything or?
No, we just wanted them to allow it to revegetate, but given that there'd been disturbance, we wanted them to make sure that invasive species didn't get a
Mhm.
better foothold in the disturbed areas, and then leave it alone.
Seems reasonable.
So I spoke with Jess Allen today regarding the CPA process. The next CPA meeting on this is the 20th of
20th.
April, and the CPA will vote.
We should vote on it on the 20th.
She said we should have a Conservation Commission person there, so I'll ask Jess Harwood.
I thought she
Didn't
wasn't
she say she was
available.
gonna be there?
Oh, that's
Julie
you.
was gonna cover.
So, I guess there was discussion that there might be requirement for temporary construction signage, or Jamie came up with that.
That didn't come up at the meeting that I remember.
Jess mentioned it in
Okay, all right,
conversation.
maybe they can talk about it later.
So it may require a budget amendment, and just threw out the number of $1,000, and that whatever was
Yeah, okay.
unspent would just be returned.
All right, okay.
And that would come out of our budget or?
That would be part of the money, that would be part of the
CPA money.
project money.
So it would add 1,000 to what we're requesting?
Yes.
Seems like a lot.
It's probably more than is needed. but at the same time,
For signage, like a sign at the.
no,
venue.
like
Well, people will probably be asking what's going on.
CPA,
Right,
it's-
right, right.
it'd be, you know, it's just a project sign, so like, you know, Echodale West Orchard Management.
Project.
Project, funded by the blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
yes.
Is that, that's a requirement of the CPA?
It may be.
It'll probably come up on Thursday then.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, normally, on a completed project, you wanna have a CPA sign there saying it was funded so that people go by and know what their tax dollars are being
Yeah.
used for,
I like
so.
that CPA.
Yeah.
Look at this nice.
or something like that.
Is there anything else that we know will be an issue of discussion at that meeting and that should be prepared for?
I don't think so, I think all the questions were
handled last
answered
time.
and handled, unless someone comes up with something new, which I'm not expecting. I'll be there also, and I
Okay.
assume Jess Allen will be there if we're voting on this, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
And she's the one who knows more about some of these things than we do.
Is that permanent signage? Permanent signage?
I do
or
not
construction?
know.
Okay.
That's
On
a
a
good
real
point. She said
project, they
cons-
like permanent signs.
She
Okay.
said
On a real
temporary
project.
construction signage.
Well, but this is kind of like a temporary, you know,
Oh,
clear the
okay.
trees and then, okay, the field's empty,
Now what?
you know. like-
Yeah.
So if it was like a Mutter Field, then you want a permanent sign that shows
Right.
everybody that,
Mhm.
because
Here's what
it's
it
something
is.
that's going to go forward.
Yeah.
Where does that meeting happen?
It's in the conference room that faces the ponds on the first floor.
At
6:30.
that end of the building?
Yeah, 6:30.
And then go to council on May 3rd, and then who knows after that.
It just takes a couple sessions to get
Mhm.
through the budget,
Committee, subcommittee.
right, finance subcommittee or whatever.
Yeah. But if all goes well, there could be a hearing in June.
And we probably wouldn't do work until the ground was frozen, maybe anyways, right? Some of those, you know, some of the, there's vehicles involved,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But that'll be up to us to decide once it's funded.
Yes.
We did an RDA too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. You've received, moving on to compliance updates, we've received two for Jillian Estates, March
I think he
31st.
sent it in because of the rain events. He-
Yeah.
He sent a, extra set-ins.
Due to the rain events on Tuesday and Thursday, additional inspection. Only minor erosion from the downspouts with some topsoil in the roadway at the low point from the front downspouts. There's no sign of any erosion behind the erosion control barrier at the rear of the house.
The barriers look like they maybe need a little.
Bolstering.
though. Yeah, they're sagging and that's what it's.
So staple up silt fence. Or other repairs if necessary. Okay. Those are the Jillian Estates reports.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Pleasant Street Mills.
Nothing happening outside.
No,
Just,
I did notice yesterday that there's a lot of standing stagnant looking water in the stormwater
Okay.
basins, opposite the big brick stack,
Okay,
not the wetland.
Right.
Not the wetland replacement area slash, constructed wetland stormwater basin, but the other two, they're. And I could see where they notched the outlet structures
Okay.
to get a lower elevation on outlet, and
Are they plugged up, or?
I don't think they're plugged up, I think there's a high groundwater table
Mhm.
that allows it to hold water longer or something.
Stuff is kind of wet.
It's-
So. If you're gonna swipe right more than once, you're
Oh,
gonna
boy.
see the cats, so. Caveat emptor.
What's happened?
I don't know, you're asking the wrong person. So,
I think I saw this too. Yeah, there's like a high,
Mhm.
is this, so it's kind of like a higher up one and then a lower
it
down?
looks like a
one?
yeah, if you
Yeah.
swipe right, left, sorry.
Uh,
God, I don't do Tinder. Nice. So that's what it looked like, and then I took the
Okay.
stack for reference because that's
Right, okay. Very good.
understanding. So I just wonder, I mean, I know we had a lot of
We had a
rain
lot of
last
rain.
week,
Yeah.
but that was Sunday
yeah.
afternoon, and it last rained on
Okay.
Thursday. So that's Friday, Saturday, that's 72 hours,
Okay.
and they're still standing
Yeah,
water.
okay.
And they're, for some reason, 48 hours, like, it sticks out in my mind. But you can see the lollipop notch.
Mhm.
Looks like a face.
Mhm.
It does. So. Big.
That is a face.
That's the biggest.
So then do we have to ask the,
I think it's a question for Jess.
Take a look at the end of the week and
Can
see
I,
what it
can I
looks
actually
like.
see the, not the cat again, but the.
Why not?
face.
What's
Like a
wrong?
very serious
Maybe,
cat.
maybe not. She's contemplating whether or not to rip my face off.
That's what cats usually do.
That's what that one might do to someone else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oops, that's a cat.
did that yourself.
Yeah, I wonder if- well, so this one's drained, so I guess what, I don't really remember.
They both had standing water.
Yeah, but this one's drained. It
Which
looks-
one?
You can see how there's the slot and then it's all muddy
Yeah.
there, so it's drained as far as it's gonna drain through that.
Right, exactly.
device or
That's why
whatever.
I wonder, because if there's standing water, nothing, well,
Yeah,
only cattails and barkleaves are gonna grow in there right
And
now.
they're supposed to vegetate.
Yeah, they're supposed to be vegetated.
but I would have said that I wonder if there was still frost in the ground, but I had to dig a stupid post in for my.
For your Bedford post-capping episode?
Yes, for my wife, who is now a National Weather Service cooperative weather observer, and she has a.
She's a rain gauge?
Station that's in
Ooh.
the smack middle of our front yard, and there was no frost in the ground there, but in our front yard, it's pretty cold.
This is in the sun quite
Yeah.
a bit, so I
Yeah.
think that's no frost there.
I would think not. Okay, anyways,
Good talk.
good talk.
Good story.
Thank you.
So,
Are you going to follow up with
Jess.
Jess Allen?
okay. Nashwanik Mills, no updates?
Haven't been there this week, but nothing's happened last week.
Oxbow, no update. 184 Northampton Street?
They're doing plumbing in prep for pouring the floor, so they're putting floor drains and things.
So active. Lathrop, no updates. Williston?
It looks okay. I mean, they have some water, not issues, but water that's around the edge of the slope there, but it's nothing that's causing any problems. I did see the big mulch pile, but it looks like that's the mulch they're using on the trail itself. But there's quite a bit of it there, so.
going on with the work. National Pond, no updates. Loven,
And we did get an update from them.
yeah, March 31st. Looks like more road work with stone, gravel.
Did Mark send two with Alan, one for the rain, one not?
This is March 31st, and this is April 7th. No work performed this past week due to the rainstorms. Tuesday, Thursday, 2 inches of rain. Wow. Chickapoo's not reading that much. Yeah, it looks like the silt fence here needs to be bolstered a bit. Road.
The water is clearly passing through the fence and we can't see anything about whether sediment is coming through.
Mm.
Could we ask him to try and take pictures of that, the outside area
Mhm.
in the future? So we can get a better sense of whether it's actually doing its job.
Mhm.
Do you want to see this question?
She wants to see him.
Do you want this picture in particular? Is there another one?
Yeah, that's
Got
good.
one.
Yeah, that one.
That water
And then
today
the commercial one
still.
next page too.
It pretty much looked like that today with that much water.
Yep. Okay. All right, next, ready? Cumberland Farms, no updates. And there's this. That'll come next. All right, meeting minutes, March 27th, 2017.
Motion to approve the minutes from March 27, 2017.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Correspondence, there's this thing about the Lyman section, Meadows Conservation Area, in Northampton. In Meadows. For, let's see, Ag Commission strives to match interested farmers with compatible agricultural properties for no fee in exchange for keeping the parcel in ag use, maintaining field edges clear of vegetation, and other normal maintenance tasks. Do we have any tenants who might be interested? Not quite sure why we got that. But that's how they do it. So if we wanted to, perhaps we could, if we had a property with an agricultural use that became conservation land, we could query Northampton as to how they
Such as an orchard?
raise. But it's been
Not in use.
fallow
Yeah.
for more than 5 years, so any use would be new.
Yeah, but this is probably, we had talked about Jess contacting Northampton about how they dealt with, you know, how they leased their properties, I think, so I
Mhm.
guess maybe she's giving this to us as an example of a,
Oh, maybe that's it.
procurement advertisement, would be my guess.
So, is there any other business at this time?
Conservation agent, at the last meeting, the only issue of concern that came up was Southampton's having some budget issues and they may need some more time to work through that, so we'll see what comes out of that.
Do we have it under general business?
submitted a resume that was, not resume, but a job description was like 4 pages long, which is very involved, which they're going to pare down a little bit. So I didn't even bother passing it out to anybody here because it's kind of needs to be retooled.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes,
What?
Emerald Place.
Oh, yes, sorry.
You wanna, you could give us a summary while I finish this.
So Emerald Place is it intersects with Ferry Street on the east side of Lower Mill Pond. So there are those mill worker houses.
Is it the one right next to the pond?
Yeah.
Yes.
About 80 or so feet of it, toward the northerly end of the street. The embankment down to the pond is, unstable and probably going to fail. This came up Friday morning, Thursday, Friday,
Because of the rain or just?
probably.
Yeah.
There's is there any drainage?
There are catch basins and drainage.
Is there a
infrastructure
curb?
Within the road, there is a curb, yes. So,
Okay.
it's,
So,
unusual.
things to note, the slope is actually owned by One Ferry Street. It's not,
Okay.
the slope, so the dam and some of the, like half the pond are owned by One Ferry Street, the land under half the pond. So that the building retained ownership of the hydro infrastructure. So, the city is, talking to Ty and Bond about a geotechnical evaluation and slope stabilization. Yes, no, please?
Yes.
Okay, so with that in mind, both Dan and I would have to recuse ourselves from future discussions. But
So the city would apply for something?
it would be probably the DPW.
Yeah.
And they would have to coordinate with the property owner. But there's also, sewer line,
Okay.
is it in the embankment or is it in the road?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I assume there is sewer, and I thought somebody said sewer, but I don't know for sure.
So maybe,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
there's stuff to work out there,
It's
basically.
of concern.
Yep.
But it's not an emergency at this time. I believe they've closed a lane so that people aren't traveling over the.
That edge.
Yeah, but, I mean, it would fall, it would slough right into the pond, basically. If the slope were to fail, that's the only place for it to go. Make you gravity.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it's like about a 70-foot long section,
Okay.
and the half the sidewalk is, it's pretty big, like 6 to 10 inch,
crack.
crack, where half is just gone down like that. It's pretty, I haven't seen anything like that before. Yeah, so I guess the city's closed half, or one lane of the road
I
there.
was gonna say, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So, more to be determined, and hopefully in the near future. I guess a reminder, geotechnical borings in buffer zone are exempt,
Okay.
as long as they're in buffer zone, or riverfront area. Provided they're high water line, but there's no riverfront at that location, it's just buffer zone to the pond. We didn't see Martin to be something.
Impressive.
Thank you. They don't have to something down though. And then whatever design will come forward. But I mentioned this to Jess Allen earlier today, and advised that she should keep an ear out and plan to be at those meetings.
Right, okay.
And kind of this, so that the city knows what the city's proposing. But, in the those instances, I would need someone else to chair that part of the
Yeah,
meeting.
no problem.
Yeah, the city reached out to me initially, which I don't know why, because I don't work for the city, but I'm gonna try to not work on it from either the timeline perspective or the Conservation Commission perspective.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anything else?
nothing else from me.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. That's good. What did we do? 6:36,